All right, now on this handout we have some coefficients, some scatter plots. All right, so we have all these dots. What I want you to do is try to draw a line going through the dots. Some can be on top, some can be on bottom. All right, so for the first one we have a positive correlation. So when the dots are all going in an up motion, we call that positive. When they're going in a down motion, we call it negative. And these, there's no real line I can put through them. So this doesn't have a line. Call it NA. Okay. Now, one thing that might be helpful that some of y'all have probably seen before is what we call a slope guy. So in this little space, put slope guy. And my slope guy looks like this. If the graph is going up, it is positive. If the graph is going down, it's negative. If the graph is going straight up and down, we call that undefined. And then if the graph is going side to side, it has a 0. So we call this the slope guy. All right, so just know that the plus equals positive, minus equals negative, the u equals undefined, and the 0 is actually this 0. All right, so copy that down because we're gonna need that later. Now, in the do now, we were talking about some variables, the m, but look right here where it says the r, okay? So the r number is gonna be between like 0 cents to like $1. So if we have something from 70 cents to $1, it is strong, or if it's like 30 cents, 0.3 to 0.7, we call that kind of like weak. It kind of varies a little bit depending on the lesson, but notice how if this is a positive decimal, it goes up. If it is a negative decimal, it goes down. Now, so this, all these are going to be the R variables. Put R right here. R equals, R equals. All right. And if they're less than 30 cents, right, my R, again, put R equals. That means there's no correlation. The dots start to get spread out too much to where you can't see a line. All right, so these are all the R's in your decimals calculator. So what we have here, what we're going to do is the same thing we did in the do now. We're going to put all these as my X variable, all these as my Y variable. Now the best way to do it, guys, just start here and let's start typing in. So get your Desmos, push a little plus button, hit the table. All right, so we have 1, 1, 2. All right, I'm just copying all this stuff right here. And then we have 3 3s, 3, 3, 3. How many 4s we got? We got 2 4s, 4, 4, 5 5, or no, sorry, 2 5s. 2 5s and then 2 6s. And then 2 7s. Whoops. 2 6s and then 2 7s. All right, so we're going to type that in. All right, so now these are going to be the Y numbers right here. So look, watch, we're talking about the age of the car in years. So when the car's 1 year, it's either going to be like around 19 or 20,000. But the older the car gets, all right, we have 7 years over here, it gets 12 and 13,000. So it's going down in value. All right, I know that much. So let's go ahead, let's put in these numbers here. So go to the Y's. Hey guys, don't change X1, Y1, leave those the same. Don't change those. So you have 19, 20, and 18.5, 16, 17.25, 18, 16, 17, I'm just copying these down, 14, 15, 12.5, 15, 12, and then 13.25. All right. So a lot of typing, but we're going to get some stuff here. Now we're going to go ahead and use the program we did in the do now. So go down to number 2 once you have all this typed in. And let's go ahead and use our Y1. Get your little squiggly. MX1 plus B. So the same thing we did in the do now. Now, here you go. So on the graph, guys, you'll see the dots the way we did before, right? So this has actually the line drawn for us. And you'll notice how this is going in a down motion. Now, the important thing is the R. Everyone look at my R. My R is a negative 0.94. That's like negative 90 cents. So that means that it is a negative graph. And then we have this. So this is a strong correlation because this is between negative $1 and like negative 70 cents. And negative 90 is right here in strong. And you can tell it's strong because all the dots are close together. So now let's write down the equation here. Now my equation is going to be the mx plus b. But look at my m. Let's go ahead and go here, type in m, set it as a fraction. Oop, there you go. So that's a big fraction right there. Next one, let's do the b. So same thing with the b, guys. Make it a fraction. So the way I'm going to write this down is y equals, so copy it on your paper. The m number is this negative fraction right here, so put a negative 17,021 divided by, and then, no, yeah, 17,001 divided by 1482, sorry. And you put the x there. Now, since the b is positive, right, we put a plus for positive, and then we put this fraction, 269 divided by 13. All right. So now the correlation coefficient. So the correlation coefficient is going to be the R, just so you don't freak out. We'll type it, just put R right here. And we're just going to copy down whatever the R says. Now, don't change this one to a fraction, leave it as a decimal. So like negative 90 cents. So negative 0 point, and we're going to round it to 95, all right? Remember, if the third decimal is a 5 or higher, it rounds, so we're going to round it up. This is rounded to the hundredths place. So we know this is a negative correlation because it's a negative number. We know it's strong because it's like 90 cents, 95 cents. What is the approximate value of the car that is 3.2 years old? So look, now it says the age of the car, they want to know 3.2. Well, we don't have a 3.2, we just have 3s, all right? So the way that works, all right, let's go to the fifth one, guys. Remember the fifth one. We're going to go ahead and make a table. Oop, okay, wait. 5. Oh, no, my bad, sorry. Here, let's go back to the table. Right, click this one. Why is it not allowing me to do it? Oh, okay, this is different than the, one second, guys, one second. All right, you guys, so I had to move to the computer. So now number 5, just type in a regular y equals mx plus b like that. Then we're going to go ahead and hit the little gear. So make sure your cursor's right here, y equals mx plus b. Don't worry about the ones, right? You don't have to put the ones in there. All right, and then here we're going to go ahead and create the table. Now it's asking me, we have 3.2 years. So my price after 3.2 years, the car is going to be around 16,097 and then 6. So just put let's round it to 16.98. All right, right here. So 16,000.98. Now, what is the approximate age of the car that has a value of 7,930? So, if you notice, guys, my value is going down. So, let's go ahead and let's try some years to where it's going to be around 7,900. So I'm going to go here. Now, the oldest one I have here is 7. So, let's type in 8. enter. 9. So it's getting older. Let's try 12. Now it's too much because I want 7,900. So let's try 10. I shouldn't have skipped 10 right there. Let's do 11. So look at that, 7,900. So 7,918 is close enough, right? Because it says approximate. And that is around how many years? Around 11 years. All right, so these two are going to be the hardest ones. There's 4s and 5 because you have to program again. All right. Let's go to the back of the handout. So on the back of the handout, for this one, I want to do something to create this equation. Now, we have all these dots that we need to put in the table form so we can get the equation. But just by looking at it, guys, it looks like it's going to be a negative correlation. So put negative. So my R is going to be a negative. All right. So circle here. Now this is actually pretty strong. I can kind of tell because they're close together. So I'm going to say this is a strong one. All right. Now for these points. Now this is actually a little bit easier when you have the table here. Why? Because I'm going to go ahead and add some points. Let's go ahead and add some points like that. It's kind of just like filling it out. Like let's go here, here. All right. Now we're going to get the Desmos to help us, but just by looking at the points that we drew, right, how many mistakes would be expected for someone who practiced for 7.5 hours? So right here it says time practicing in hours and then the number of mistakes. So notice how when you have 0, you're way up here in the mistakes, but the more you practice, the less mistakes you have. So if I'm like 7 and 8 in between, I should be around how many mistakes? Around 1 and 2. So after 7.5 hours, I'm going to say between 1 and 2 mistakes. All right, we're going to get the exact numbers later. All right. It says how much time was spent practicing if 8 mistakes were made. So now it's looking for the mistakes and it's looking for 8. So if I'm doing around 8 mistakes, is that the 2 or 3 hours? Or is that the 0 and the 1 hours? So for 8 mistakes, I'm thinking anywhere between 0 and 1. So we're kind of guessing, but this is a good approximate guess of where these answers are going to be. All right. So now for the table for this one, all right, this is going to be a long table here. Let's put X, Y. We're going to have 1, 7. So we're going to put 1, 7. We have 2, 6. Then we have 2 3s. We have a 3, 6 and a 3, 7. So let's do 3, 7 first and then 3, 6. If you flip them, that's okay, guys. Don't worry about it. It's okay. And then we got like over here, it's in the middle. So it's going to be 3.5. So I have 3.5 and then the number 5. And then again, I have another 3.5. 3.5, 4. So we know this is technically not a function, right? This is technically not a function because we have some repeatings, but that's not what it's asking for. 4, 5. All right, here we have 5, 4, and 5, 3. 5, 4, 5, 3. And 6, 3. All right, 6, 3. And this is what we're going to put in our Desmos. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to actually use the desktop. So I'm going to move my phone. And we're going to do this one. Okay. All right. So I have everything programmed here. All right. Go ahead. Remember, you have to push this plus sign to add the table. Okay. So here, put your table right there like that. Then you scroll down to get your mx plus b. So now here we go. So my correlation, so we were right, this is kind of a strong correlation. Look at R, negative 0.877. So for my correlation, let's put negative 0.8, let's round it, 88. All right. Now my equation, I know that's gonna be a negative number. So I have negative m. So we're going to put negative 175 divided by 189. And this is a negative. And put put your little x, because remember, all we're doing is following the y equals mx plus b formula. And then the b is this decimal. I already changed it to a fraction for you. So it's positive, put plus. So remember, this is y equals mx plus b, just in case you remember the formula. And then the fraction, these are ugly fractions. No, we're going to do more with whole numbers, guys. Don't worry about it. And then we have 1625 divided by 199. All right, good. So we know this is a negative. We know it's strong because it's over 70 cents. Now, how many mistakes would be expected at 7.5 hours? So for the time practice in hours, so remember you scroll down, type in y equals mx plus b, just like that. Hit the gear, all right, you have to hit the gear and then create the table. All right, which I already did that, so I'm not worried about it. So it's asking for around 7.5 hours. Let me erase this. 7.5. And it says we're gonna have 1.57 mistakes. So we're right, look, between 1 and 2, so let's 1.58, we're gonna round. All right. Actually, no, it's 7. If I round it, guys, it's gonna be a 7 because, look right here, there's a 0 on the third one. And then how much time is spent practicing? You have 0, or you have 8 mistakes. So look, when I do 0 hours, I'm around 8 mistakes. So I'm gonna leave it like around 0 and 1. That's good. So we're good there. And there you go. So you're gonna go ahead and do this one on your own. Do this one on your own and then turn it in.